actually do it.
Okay.
All right, and we are live. We are live. Hi, Monica. How are you today?
I am fine, thank you. Hi, Lucy.
Nice to have you here. I'm just checking my Facebook to see that we have already connected well and that we are live. And usually I find that my volume is on full blast.
Let's check my Facebook.
Yes, I can hear myself somewhere.
Sorry.
There we are. Okay. Oh, is that yours feeding off? Is that your volume feeding off?
Yes.
Ah.
I think we are good now.
We are good, yeah? Oh, I can already see Wausi Walia is watching. Hi, Wausi. Thank you so much for just being on time. Joan Bessia, thank you so much. So much for joining us. Great to see you, ladies. And already Joan is saying that she was waiting for this. Are you hearing that, Monica? People are waiting for this, a beginner's guide. How are you feeling today, Monica?
It's so exciting. I'm
It is
actually really excited about doing this.
yes.
Yes, Christmas decorations is an opportunity for us to just bring the cheer in a year that has had quite some ups and downs. So
What
I'm
a
so
year.
glad you.
What a year it has been. And we also have Kavi who has joined us. This is exciting. Yes, you're very right, Monica. What a year it has been. What a year it has been. However, we are using this festive period here at LMC to give gratitude. So we are saying, here at LMC, Monica, we are saying it is the season to be grateful. It is a season to be grateful. And I will be asking you later on what you are grateful about. What is it that you are? I'll ask you in a moment. If we can just go on and just welcome the other people who are logging in onto our Facebook Live. So, ladies, welcome. Welcome to Tuesday Talks at 3. This is a platform where women help to build one another on their journey in the sphere of life. My name is Lucy Macridis. For those of you who do not know me, I am the owner of LMC Consultancy, and I am an expert in helping women get unstuck and onto their true potential through unlocking their limiting beliefs. I am a certified life coach. I'm a certified online facilitator. I am a mentor, and I'm so happy to have you here, guys, today. This in my hair is my festivity mood. You know, you've all seen me on these broadcasts, and usually I do not have such lovely things in my hair. And you can see Monica's got a whole tree behind her, so she's really trumped me on that one. But yes, and it looks lovely, Monica, if I may say that. It really does. So thank you so much for joining us, ladies. This is a platform where you can share your story. Please go in and chat what your thoughts are. Today, we're looking at festive decorating. What is your festive decor? Hey, have you done your tree? Have you decorated your house? Are you looking forward to this for the tips? So Monica can also sample what it is that you have out there. So it is a season to be jolly. And for us to be jolly, it is important that our environment is handled. As a life coach, I teach on the wheel of life, Monica. And the wheel of life has got aspects of career, finance, family and friends, no relationship. Money is important, spiritual, health, fun and creation. And one of it is physical environment. Now, if your physical environment is aligned in your life, it is where you want it to be. You know, you just have a beautiful life. What are your thoughts on that, Monica? Your physical environment?
I totally agree with you, Lucy. And I strongly believe, I am known to say that the quality of your interior determines the quality of your life. It's because these are the spaces that you spend your time in. And when you are in your interior space and it looks nice, you feel good, and you just enriched generally.
Yes,
Yeah.
so true, so true. Thank you so much, Monica. And you guys might be wondering, who is Monica? Well, as we are talking about our physical environment, Monica accepted our invitation here at Tuesday Talks at 3 to come and take us through festive decorating and a beginner's guide at that. And you might say, but I've been decorating my tree, my home for so many years. But you know, time is changing, times are changing. And it's never constant. There's always something new coming up. As you all know, when you're on the internet, there's always a new opinion. And it is for us to stay in the trend, we need to go back to the beginning. And this is what Monica is going to do for us. And why Monica? Well, she's an interior design expert. Tick. She helps convert interior spaces into functional and beautiful places to work and live in. So big, tick. Can you imagine your interior spaces into functional, beautiful spaces? I mean, COVID has got me cooped up around my dining table. Yes, I am at my dining table, and this has become my office in the last 8 months. I mean, I would love to have Monica come into my life and do something about this. You see all this is behind me? Monica, I would love for you to come into my life and do something about that, just to convert my space into a functional and beautiful place to work. She is a director at Indulgence Designs Limited. So definitely she is the best person today to be here with us. And Monica, asante sana one more time. Well, LMC Consultancy, we run four major services. And the major ones actually are on life coaching. And you may ask, what is life coaching? What do you know about life? Or what are you going to teach me about life? Just like we've talked about our physical environment, the wheel of life covers so many aspects of our life. And from my experiences in life, I'm able to reach out to you and ask you the right questions so that you can come up with the answer from within you. Because do not be fooled, ladies. We all have the answers from within, but it is our limiting beliefs. It is that little voice that sits on this shoulder or this shoulder that stops us from realizing our full potential. I'm not good enough. I am too young for this. I am not tall enough. I don't have the education. Who's going to listen to me? I stammer. I don't speak English as my first language, and on and on and on. And you've got the solutions deep down, but your limiting voice, your limiting beliefs, your inner critic is just killing and quenching your dream. And so when we are here and giving gratitude for what we have, these things come to life. These things come to life. So when we are looking at LMC consultancy life coaching, it is all encompassing, it is holistic. And when you do come and sit across me in this virtual world, this is what we do. So we do one-on-one and we do group life coaching. Very successfully, we've done group life coaching with young girls, preteens to the age of 18. We call it Lady in Waiting series. We take them through the art of good manners, social media etiquette. We take them through dining etiquette. We take them through core values, set them up to know who they are and what's important to them here and now in their lives, so that we can empower them to gracefully transition into society. Online facilitation, like I said to you, is something that we do. And come January, from the 4th to the 8th of January, we are going to be running the Awakening Self program. If you check our Facebook, we have a flyer there. The cost is 2,000 shillings per person. Your commitment is you show up Monday to Friday between 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Nairobi time. And I take you through the areas of limiting beliefs so that you will be able to take off in 2021 on the right footing. So enough about that, just enough about that. We just want to jump right in and see what is going on our Facebook page. Monica, are you seeing what I am seeing? There's quite a few people who are joining us. We've got Kavi there. We've got Grace. We've got Rosebell. Hi, guys. It's so good to see you. And this is my guest, Monica Malakwen. She's an interior design expert. So, Monica, like we say, this is the time of gratitude. What are you grateful for this time? What are you grateful for during this season of COVID? What are you grateful for? Is there anything that you can share with us?
Wow. Um, this year has been the year as we know it, but I can also say this is the year that I have reached levels I never imagined. This
Wow.
is the year that I have come to, it's the first time I'm sharing what I do as an interior designer, and I'm
Fantastic.
overwhelmed by.
Wait, Monica. Let's take a moment here, ladies. It is the first time that she is sharing what she does on a virtual platform. As a life coach, for me, that is a moment where she is unstuck. These are the kind of things that we do as life coaches. We give you these opportunities to come and withdraw the answers from within. So thank you so much, Monica, for saying that. Kavi here says, bravo. Bravo for stepping out, Monica. Sorry I interrupted, but that moment had to be celebrated. Yes, please go ahead. Please go ahead, Monica.
Yes. So I'm grateful for the online family that I have formed. I have a group called the Indulgence Blueprint,
Yes.
simple interior design lessons to become your own interior designer. We are live there as well, so shout out to my members there.
Hi guys, welcome to Tuesday Talks at 3. Welcome, and I'm hearing about this community and I'll be asking you more about it later, Monica. Well done. Rosebell, you finally made it. Good to see you, Rosebell. Yes, Monica, please go ahead. We are asking you, what are you grateful for? And you're telling us about your online experiences. Let's hear more.
Yes. So I've been sharing, and one of the things that have really made a lot of impact in people's lives, and therefore in my own, that I'm really grateful for, is bringing back the cheer in this season. And a friend said we have started a Christmas decorating movement. That makes me very happy. I'm so grateful for such kind of influence that we are getting into people's lives.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. And you see, when a friend comes and recognizes this and is able to put it into context of what you're doing, it really gives you that motivation to go on. And all this you're recognizing as gratitude. Well, as I explained, being December, Gratitude December, I purposed to post every day one thing that I am grateful for in this year, in this time of COVID. I was very specific. So for 31-day posts, I'm telling you, it is a humbling experience. And Monica, I would love for you to take a moment and just come onto my Facebook page and post this thing that you're grateful for, because it is an inspiration. Now, last week, I shared my postings from the 1st to the 8th of December. And for a moment there, I got a bit emotional. So today, I am, yes, I am inhaling and exhaling because these are very dear moments to me. And I want to stay together. And with it, ladies, I want to share with you my gratitude postings. So, on the 9th, which was Wednesday last week, I posted that I am grateful for the people that I have met online. This may sound like a very simple thing, but you heard what Monica said. She has created a community online. She has people online. Incidentally, how many people do you have in your community, Monica?
Right now we are going towards 1.4, yeah, 1,400 people.
Fantastic. Wow. I mean, today we're just celebrating successes. Well done, Monica. That says a lot about your content, the relevance of it, the people want to know. And you'll tell us a bit more later. So I posted for the people that I met online. I mean, I have never met you, Monica, live. I don't even know how tall you are. Because if I'm not seeing you seated like this, it's a photograph you're sending me, and we have been in a class together. So
Yeah.
you don't even know how tall I am. And look, today we are collaborating because we met online. I am so grateful for meeting online. I am also grateful for the chances to learn new skills. Now, what I have done here, connecting Zoom to Facebook, and I'm saying one day I'm going to connect to YouTube. If somebody had told me last year, same time, I'd be doing this, I'd say, No. What kind of new skills have you learned, Monica?
Hmm. I have been, one of the things that I've been doing is doing content videos. I
Uh-huh.
learned to edit a video.
Wow.
It is a miracle that I can actually sit in front of a camera
Yes.
and be confident enough to actually face the camera and talk. That is a miracle in itself.
You're doing it so well. And I love your smile. You're doing it so well, Monica.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. So you edit videos now. That is something that you learned online.
Yes.
That's a new skill. Well, look at that. Well, look at that. Well, ladies, why don't you share with us what new skills have you learned in this 2020 of our COVID pandemic? COVID has offered us opportunities. I choose to look at this pandemic as an opportunity to take me to the next level. For the longest time in the first few months, I was in a pity party. I was the victim. But the day that I made the mindset shift, whoo, all those words, the mindset shift, I tell you, ladies, things began to shift for me. Things began to look up. Like now, I'm telling you that the chance to learn new skills. You know, the fear of going online was real for me. For some of you, you do it as your way of life. For me, it was something real. So share with us on this particular thread. What new skills have you learned? What new skills have you learned? So day 11. Day 11 was a big one for me, ladies, a very big one. And for me, it was for the support of the Kenya Association of Women in Tourism. I am tourism damu. If you prick me, Monica, the blood that will run will have DNA, tourism, tourism, tourism. I've been in tourism for 30 years plus. I have grown steadily but surely to the position that I envied so much. And that is how I finished strong in the hospitality industry in employment. And now I'm in consultancy for the same hospitality. I am a founding member of Kenya Association of Women in Tourism. And let me tell you, this particular community during the time of COVID has really got our back as women in tourism. Every morning, Monica, there's a post of gratitude. There's a post of inspiration and motivation. What a way to wake up. And these are ladies who are posting this. Some are waking up as early as 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Or is it that they find themselves awake at that time? And they are thinking about another woman, to empower another woman. I have been empowered. I have been motivated, inspired. You know, the fire in my belly has been lit by these fellow sisters of mine in the community of Kenya Association of Women in Tourism. We went further and we filled out a survey. And this survey, because tourism was one of the hardest hit industries, but we filled out a survey and the questions were very simple and specific. What would you like the association to do for you to help you during this time? And I was very quick. I must have been one of the first people to fill out that survey. And I wanted skills, skills, skills. And you know what, Monica? Right now, I'm attending a 5-month program, digital program, to become a trainer in digital marketing. It is so fulfilling. I have my own cohort. I am so busy learning and applying and teaching, and these women are teaching me. Half of those things I have no idea what they are. But because I am teaching, I am learning faster. So, Monica, I understand that in Indulgence Blueprint, you have a session where you do training.
Yes.
Can you tell me a
What we
bit
do,
about that?
okay. In Indulgence Blueprint, we have different ways in which we enrich, we enrich the members in order for them to become their own interior designers. So one of the ways is lessons. We do lessons on Tuesday where we teach different aspects of interior design. We are talking about the elements, the principles. We are talking about the steps that you need to take in order for you to be able to do your interiors. We've had challenges before where we were doing a decluttering and organizing challenge. I realized that most of our spaces are usually really cluttered. And one of the things that you need to do in order for you to be able
You're
to work on your
speaking to me. You're speaking to me. You're speaking to me. Clutter. Yes, you're speaking to me. I'm listening.
yes. So before you even start decorating, you need to be able to take away. It's more of what you take away than what you bring in. So we did a decluttering challenge where we were working on our clothing. I think the clothes and the kitchens are the most cluttered places in our houses. So I demonstrated how to declutter your wardrobes. We also decluttered our kitchens. We decluttered our books and paper.
Wow, you
And
do all that in that classroom online on Facebook?
yes, we do it live on Facebook. That is actually a challenge because when we take challenges, we are able to take action. So that was the first challenge, decluttering and organizing. In the coming year, starting from January, we are taking on other challenges that will include, one room makeovers, so that as a community, we are working on one room at a time. If we
Yes.
are working on our living rooms, we demonstrate everything that you need to make your living room, how you will hang your curtain, how you will arrange your furniture, how you will place your rugs, how you will
Monica,
arrange your
Monica,
bookshelves.
I need to stop you there. Do you also take a photograph of my cluttered space, the before and the after?
That is the best way to do it. You take photos of before and then you take photos of after. That way you are able to appreciate what you've been able to achieve.
I'm sure you also want me to post those pictures of
I am
before. Oh, oh.
I am so curious about those spaces.
Yes.
Yeah, I would really love to see, especially how your wardrobes look.
Fantastic. Well, you know what? Tell us, how can we become part of this community of yours? Because I'm sure for the ladies who are listening right now, this is something of interest for them. Can you just tell us in a few minutes of how we can be part of the Indulgence Blueprint?
Yes, okay. Indulgence Blueprint is a group on Facebook. It's a private group. So you will just type in Indulgence Blueprint. Blueprint is one word. You
Mhm.
will see, you will see the group and it has a photo of the Christmas tree. It is very clear. Join it. And then
Yes.
when you join it, just go to the units tab because you're coming in after we have covered quite a bit. Go to the units tab. Everything that you've been able to do before is organized right there. And then you can catch up.
Thank you so much. Well, ladies, there you have it, a tidbit. You can actually join the Indulgence Blueprint. Just follow that word, that key search, and just put it into Facebook. And when it comes up, there's the Christmas tree. That's when you know you've arrived. Click and just join and go straight into the unit. So just moving on. So the Kenya Association of Women in Tourism has been a backbone for me, and I'm sure for so many women, especially now that we are looking at other things outside tourism to be able to put food on the table. Now, talking about putting food on the table and talking about just being able to survive every day, the Kenya Association of Women in Tourism also did a heart check. And when I say a heart check, it means they would ask us every time, how are you doing? Somebody to reach out and ask you that question. I am so grateful for this community. And they may never know how many women they have touched, but they've touched one here, and I'm happy to sing it from the rooftops. So if we know of anybody else who has touched your life, ladies, please tell them, speak about it, testify. Another person who has touched my life in a very profound and emotional way is my landlady. My landlady gave me 70% rent relief. 70% rent relief. Not for 1 month, not for 2 months, not for 3 months, not for 4 months, not for five, but for 6 months. 6 months. It has come to an end this December, and I actually held a mass in Thanksgiving for her, because who does this? Who
Yeah.
does this? God had touched this woman and she chose me to bless me. 70% rent relief, ladies, you heard that right. Has somebody done this for you? Share in the chat, in our trend right now. Let us hear from you. I am grateful for God because He is good all the time. I'm alive and well today, so is my family. His love for me endures forever, and I sing about it because I would not be here sharing with you, giving you a platform to express and to learn. And today, for Monica, for her first time to go virtual and be able to talk about her product, God is great. Day 14. Day 14 and today, this morning, are also two other postings that were very personal and real for me. And for some people, they may think it is just a story, but this is true story, as we say as Kenyans. For those who sent me groceries, there were days, ladies, when I had nothing in my pantry, when I had nothing in my fridge. In fact, the joke was, it's a cupboard, can we please turn it off? I had nothing. And in those days, I'm telling you, food arrived in my house, groceries, dry food, soap. These things came. Toilet paper. Yes, there was this big joke about Kenyans going and buying so many rolls of toilet paper on the onset of COVID. Well, there were days when I didn't have any. And there were people who were sent by God to send this for me, not because I asked. It was delivered. And they've got no idea why they delivered it, but I gave them thanks. And then for those who sent me M-Pesa out of the goodness of their hearts, the first day that I had received M-Pesa, I remember that morning I had really prayed in tears, saying to God, I don't know how I am going to survive this day and the next, but I'm going to ask you to give me my daily bread today. Give me my daily bread today, from the Lord's Prayer. And I was sitting on the couch with my daughter that morning, and my phone was on the coffee table, and the notification bleeped. And from that angle, because I am long-sighted, I was able to see the phone, and I saw it was an M-Pesa notification. But hey, M-Pesa, who's sending me M-Pesa? You know, these could be those guys of committee playing around with me. So I picked up my phone, put on my glasses, and I read. And it was a transfer from a bank. And I knew it wasn't mine. In fact, I turned to my daughter. She was sitting on my left. And I said, you know what, mommy? This is a mistake. This bank, let's start calling and find out. She told me, why are you feeling it's a mistake, mom? This could be a gift. Give it some time. You're not going to use the money. Just give it some time. And I did. And that evening, I got a message, a text from somebody saying, that is something small for you, Lucy. God bless you.
Wow.
And I just keep quiet there for a moment, just to let that sink. And that was the beginning. And I would get M-Pesa payments like this, and I would give thanks to God. I stopped questioning why me, and I accepted God's answers to my prayers. And if I can do that for somebody else today, this is the first thing I do. So today, December the 15th, for those who M-Pesa'd out of the goodness of their hearts, I am grateful. So ladies, join me in this very humbling journey. Visit my Facebook and just post one thing that you're grateful for, because you'll be amazed how you will touch somebody's life. So I'm just looking at our Facebook page here, and I'm not seeing anything new that is happening. So we will just jump right into what brought us here today. And it is all about interior design. Monica, what is the difference between interior design and interior decorating? This is your world now.
Okay. There's a thin line between interior design and interior decoration. But interior design, basically, it's an art and a science of enhancing interior spaces to achieve healthier and aesthetically pleasing environments to the people using them.
Yeah.
So basically, interior design is much wider because it takes care of the structural bits. It takes care of the health, of the users in the space. Interior decoration, on the other hand, is more focused on making the interior spaces beautiful. So it's basically enhancing whatever is already in the space. But interior design goes into the structural bit of improving the spaces. I hope that makes sense.
It does. And I love the fact that you say that interior design is more about the structure and also the health of the users. And in the beginning, I was talking about the wheel of life and how that one pie of talking about your physical environment is so important in your life. And the example that I gave during my life coaching sessions is the wheel of life. You want to imagine it's like the wheel of a vehicle. If
Yeah.
this wheel of the vehicle does not have enough air, it becomes heavy for the driver on the steering wheel. You actually feel, if you've driven a car that has a puncture, you can actually tell from the steering wheel there's something wrong with one of my wheels. Yeah, it is not rolling the way a wheel is supposed to optimizingly roll. And in this case, if one of your pies is not aligned, and today we're talking about the physical environment, how I feel about the area around me.
Yeah.
It is about my health. Because if it is not, there's something off. And usually the areas that are doing so well are the ones that we stay focused on. So, ladies, today I'm asking you to stay focused today on your physical environment. Your physical environment, just like Monica has said, it helps you when you're thinking about your health. You're in a good space. This is a good thing. I'm taking down notes, Monica. So, this is a good thing. And about the structure, the things that are around you and how you can arrange them. And I'd like at a certain point that you can give us some guidelines. Yeah. And decorating is the beauty. Of course, beauty is very relative. I know beauty is very relative. What I find beautiful, you may not find, like my little flower on my hair. For me, that is
It's
festive for
beautiful,
today.
Lucy. It's
Thank you
beautiful.
so much. For the others watching, they might wonder, okay, seriously, Lucy, what do you have on your head today? This for me, ladies, I don't have a Christmas tree. This for me is festivity. This for me is festivity. Yeah. So, what are the benefits, Monica? What are the benefits of interior design? If you could just list a few for us and just walk us through it.
Yes. Basically, so what interior design for your spaces? The first thing is functionality. Interior design takes into account the function of each and every space in your house. It gives the best value to a space. So what an interior designer will do is we take a stock of your lifestyle so that we allocate space to the activities that matter.
Say that
If
again.
you we
Say
take
that again.
account of your life, I'm saying as an interior designer, what we do is we take an account of your lifestyle so that we allocate space to the activities that matter for you, the user of the space.
Lovely, lovely.
So we take care of the we take care of the functionality of that space for you, the user.
Okay.
Secondly, we do what we call space planning. What happens is usually we'll have different sizes of spaces, and when we are space planning, we make the best out of those spaces so that if you are having a small sitting room, what do we need to do to make it look bigger and also to be sufficient for the activities that you are doing in that room? So basically that is to do with space planning and also personalization. When you manage to give a user a space that feels like their own, they will love their spaces. And when you live in a space that you love, your sense of well-being skyrockets. So we want to make it as personal as possible. We want the space to feel like your own. Those are the benefits of interior design, a few just to mention. Yes.
I like that. And I like that you tie it back to well-being. Because well-being is all that beginning, it is how I'm feeling at that point. And I'm sure, like you've said, according to the user, you're going to actually create the space according to my needs as a user. If this particular space is what I use as my me time, and I will take a leaf from what you talked about, cluttering, because during this COVID time, I did a lot of decluttering, but I wonder whether that fits, according to your specific guidelines. I did a lot of decluttering. I don't know whether I decluttered, then I pushed under the bed, but I cleared spaces. I cleared spaces because I felt that when they were clear, I was able to think clear. My well-being was actually better because, and I tell this story all the time, in my first month I went through depression, Monica. I could not move. I could not think. And there was 2 weeks there, 2 weeks. I did not answer my phone because I didn't want to share with people what I was going through. It was very alien to me, what I was going through. And the fact that it was happening to me, Lucy, who always organizes, has a game plan. And this thing has brought me down to my knees. You know, the prayers that I made every day were answered, and God started opening up my eyes and my ears to receive. And one of the things I did was create space. I started decluttering, and my well-being, I started feeling like as if I'm growing tall, if that makes sense. There was a beautiful sense within me that was just growing day by day, to the point where I reached to where you are today, where you're saying that for you to stand before a camera and be confident. I challenged myself for 21 days, and I would take
Wow.
my phone, and every day I would record. I would record. I didn't like what I looked like in the camera. So I had to come and be at peace with what I looked like. And then I started using the same Kenya Association of Women in Tourism that I spoke so highly about. This community has really helped me. And therefore, I use this community as a bouncing board. So whatever I recorded, I would send. There were days nobody said anything. I would die inside when nobody said anything. And I took it as rejection. And there were days when people would comment on the platform or would side chat me. And on that day, I would be flying high. Hey, look where I am today. I had a platform where I could share my tryout. I could share my practicing. I could share. And today, I am here every Tuesday without fail. God has granted me that opportunity. And I'm bringing women onto this program so they can experience what I experienced. I'm giving back only because I was given a platform where I could do that. So when we are thinking about well-being, ladies, share with us what your well-being is. Does your physical environment provide the well-being that you need? Does your physical environment provide the well-being that you need? Now, from a life coaching perspective, physical environment is even more than the physical structure that Monica is talking about. It's also the people who are around you. Are the people enabling you in a positive way or a negative way? Are they toxic? Are they pessimistic? Are they optimistic? But that's a topic for another day. This is what we actually do on Awakening Self. And like I said, my program will start on the 4th to the 8th. It is a 1-hour program per day. There's an early bird offer of 1,500 shillings. If you book now, between now and the 22nd, by the time I come on this live show next week, the price will have reverted to 2,000. I can see Joan has said, I am grateful for creating and training my first AI, which is artificial intelligence cohort, which was successful with lots of positive feedback as well, lots of lessons. This has opened God's doorway to my purpose. I am grateful. And I'm so happy for you, Joan. Thank you so much for sharing, sending you love hearts your way. Well done. Well done. We must be able to testify what we've done. We've got Nduku saying decluttering reduces mental untidiness and mental confusion. You see exactly what she's saying. I was in that situation where there was too much going on, and too much was the negative codes in my head telling me that I can't do it. Thank you so much, Nduku, for sharing that with us. And thank you, Monica, for that word, because you've talked about the sense of well-being. So we are looking at the user space, we're looking at the space planning, and we're looking at personalization, which is important. Personalization. Well, you are a wife, you are a mom, you're a homemaker. I
Yeah.
can only imagine what your day is like. I mean, from that time the children wake up and you're beginning to run, you've already woken up how many hours before?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
By the time the children are waking up, how many hours have you woken before them? How many times have you woken up? How many hours? Maybe you've been awake for 1, 2 hours, 3 hours.
Probably 3 hours.
3 hours, yes, to be a
Yes,
mom, to be a
yeah.
mom, so that you can prepare their day for them. Yes, and you can get a few
Before you
things
start
out.
preparing yourself.
Yes, and you start preparing yourself. You start preparing yourself. Can you tell me about a morning routine that you have in your house?
My morning routine usually involves waking up at 5 a.m. When I wake up at 5 a.m., I'll do my prayers and then I'll get myself ready. And yeah, probably then prepare breakfast and have breakfast. In the COVID season, my children have been sleeping quite a bit. So I would usually be able to leave to work before they are awake. But
Okay.
what I try to do in order to compensate for that is being home early enough so that I can now spend the evenings with them. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, that is
Mhm.
beautiful. That is
Actually,
beautiful.
juggling between being a mom, being a wife, and also being a director in a company that you're trying to grow. Yeah, so it involves actually being in the office very early in the morning to be able to set everything running so that I'm able to leave early in the evening to be able to be with the family at that time.
Systems. You've got systems in place. But you see, I can already imagine how busy you are. Now, what can you tell women about doing their own interior design? Because women are busy. So whether I am a young mother, whether my children are older, whether I'm a single woman, whether I'm a career woman, whether I am a homemaker, a brand new homemaker, I'm just married, literally within this year of COVID. What can you tell us about doing our own interior decorating? Because you've gone ahead and just told us about interior decorating, interior design, given us the benefits. But this COVID time, hmm, we are becoming very intimate with our spaces at home. And we are beginning to realize and see things better than we saw them before because now we're in the house, at least for a long time. What would you tell us? What kind of principles would you share with us? And I can see we have been joined by Ilona. Hello, Ilona. And we've been joined by Marian. Oh, good to see you, Marian. It's been a while. Welcome back. So let's talk about maybe some guidelines, or what would you advise us?
Basically, to become your own interior designer, there are two things you need to get right. And the first one, because we all have different styles, and even when it comes to interior design, we identify with different styles. So the first thing is for you to identify your interior design style. This is because when you know your interior design style, it makes it easier for you to, choose color, choose paint. It's easier for you to even choose furniture. So when you are working with a style, you have better chances of coming up with a very cohesive design. So some of the interior design styles that are popular, and I have covered that extensively in the group. If you join the group, you're able to go through each and every one of them. But some of the styles include traditional interior design. This is a style that is characterized by wood and rich tones. It's inspired by the 19th century. So it's a very rich style, with heavy furniture and very rich colors and very interesting patterns. There's a mid-century modern interior design style. This style is characterized by clean lines. It has simple shapes. And you'll always notice that in this style, furniture are lifted off the ground with tapered legs, something that will look something like that. So every time you see a furniture in that shape, chances are it's in the mid-century modern interior design style. The contemporary style is the style we mostly know. It's an easy style to work with. And most of the time you'll just see it's neutral palettes. That is when you'll hear people talking about just use gray furniture so that it's easier to choose curtains and such kind of things. That is the contemporary interior design style. So simple, neutral palettes, and then with pops of color. And mostly you will find rectangular, square shapes in terms of accessories and in pattern as well.
Well, before you
There's the
move on, before you move on, Marion, I'm just thinking, my children are adults now. So that means I have gone through enough pieces of furniture. And there are some of them that are favorites. So over the years, I've hung on to favorites, you know. So maybe I had a mixture. Maybe I was moving from traditional to modern to contemporary. And maybe my style is contemporary, but there's this one piece. Maybe my style today is contemporary because I want to be able to throw a lot of splash of color because of what I can see from the African. I love African print. And there's a lot of opportunity there. How then do I know what my personal style is when in my own living room or in my bedroom, I've got a mix and match that I've collected over the years? I'm not a new mom. I have not just recently moved out from my parents' home where I have a clean slate. So just before you jump onto guiding principles, what would you tell somebody like me today who already has a lot of collections of knickknacks in their house?
You cannot have an absolute one style in your spaces.
Okay.
It is okay to combine the different styles, but it is important for you to know which style works for you. For example, if you are a minimalist,
yes,
a traditional piece of furniture will get into your mind. You may not know exactly why you feel irritated about a certain space, but it could just be that one piece of furniture that is not, you are not in agreement with its style, you know? So it's important to understand at least which style you lean towards. And that way you are able to pick out what is not right for you in that space.
Okay.
The other styles basically would be the bohemian, there's a minimalist style, there's a coastal style, and then there's a farmhouse style. So yes, again, you can look into the details of each and every one of those styles and be able to identify what works best for you.
Okay. And can I find this in the Indulgent blueprint?
Yes. It is the first unit, and we are talking about the different styles, demonstrating what they are. And we've actually gone into the details of how you can implement each and every one of those styles in the different spaces in your house. So it's quite comprehensive in that.
Thank you so much. So what about the guiding principles?
So yeah, the first element was knowing your style, and the second one is the principles. Basically, they are an interior is made up of different elements, which could be space, line, there's form, there's light, which could be natural or artificial, there's texture, there's color, and there's also pattern. So in order for you to put together these different elements into a cohesive design that that you can actually look at it and feel that this is a good design, we are guided by principles. The first principle basically is balance. When you walk into a room, you want to have visual balance of the space. It can be symmetrical, where you are having two items opposite one another. It's a very easy way of achieving balance. But it can also be asymmetrical, where you are having different, maybe one big item being balanced off by several smaller items. For example, if you're using, let's say, you're using wall art. In one wall, you do one big picture. In the other wall, you can do 3 smaller pictures.
Okay.
Yes, so it balances each other.
I can relate.
Without being identical. You need to have rhythm. Rhythm is basically just like in music, how your eye moves from one element to another in a space. So there needs to be a movement. You need to guide your eye through the space. We're talking about proportion and scale. What is the size of the furniture in relation to the size of the room?
Yes.
What is the size of the table in relation to the couch, We're also talking about harmony. Harmony is just when all the elements are in agreement. You understand? Harmony. Yeah, that peaceful look you achieve when the elements are well put together. And the last one I'll talk about today, emphasis. Emphasis is that item that stands out, that focal point. That is when we talk about this being our TV wall, we want it to stand out. We'll talk about a feature wall color, We'll talk about maybe you're doing wallpaper. So it's achieved mainly through contrast. Again, once you understand these principles, you're able to apply them in any space that you are working on. When you are doing anything in your space, buying furniture, buying rugs and everything, you're able to know, does it balance? How is the scale? How is the proportion in terms of how the space will look eventually? Once you have that, you are your own interior designer, because now you know what you're picking and you know how it will relate to your space.
I love that. I just love that.
Mhm.
You know, just thinking about it, that I would have all these ideas going through my head. And as I'm walking around, when I'm in a shopping mall or I'm driving around or I'm going for my evening walks, I'm able to pick out things that would come in, perhaps harmonize my room, become a focal point, add some color or splash or symmetry. Wow, wow. You know, when you unpack it in that way, it is a very intimate journey, because that space is a space I come in to spend time. And therefore, there has to be harmony. There has to be harmony. Well, thank you so much. So, festive decorating. I have to tell you this story. I was such a big person for festive decorating, and I think it's because of the children at that time when they were little. And so for me, by end of this November, I would already have things like setting aside the Christmas tree and the lights and the decorations. The decorations were little arts and crafts that the children had done in school. They were that tiny. I mean, my son now is he's 26 and my daughter is 24. So of course those little arts and crafts are no longer happening, but I still have them. I still have them so many years later. For me, it's emotional. And then my Christmas tree, my lights and all that, I would start to soak my fruit. I would pull out the Christmas carols and just get ready. By that time we start beginning of December, I'm already baking. I'm already having the lights on. My Christmas presents I already bought throughout the year, because I'm like that person, very organized in that way. I've had a conversation with you, Monica. I realized that you like the color pink and it's something for your handbag. Wherever I will have traveled to, or whichever shop I would have passed since, I would remember you. Keep it, come home, hide it somewhere. So that by the time Christmas comes along, I've got something for the Christmas tree. And I did this for the longest time. Now I don't even have a Christmas tree anymore, because the children are gone. I don't have that. I mean, I go to them for the Christmas tree and the Christmas cheer. However, this is what I did. And you talked about baking, that, in your intro, in your little bio that you shared with me, you talked about baking. So for me, baking is a very big thing. So tell us, a beginner's guide for festive decorating. Because for me, that was festive. Festive decorating started from the sound of, the music. The Christmas
Yeah.
had to be, singing, the smell of cake, of baking, the setting up of the Christmas tree. So what are your guidelines for a beginner's guide to festive decorating?
Basically, I am a beginner myself. And like you, we didn't grow up decorating, brought up in the village. And yes, we had those things that I pointed towards Christmas. It is when we started making the houses. We come from that time when we would draw the walls of a house, And this year, I was just thinking about what I can do together with my family, so that we just have a family tradition that we look towards, yeah, towards the end of the year. And I like that you've shared that you used
Lovely.
to make the accessories yourself.
Yes.
It's what I want to start doing going forward. My firstborn son is 4, the other one is 1. My second born is
Oh,
1, and yeah,
oh, those are such
almost.
beautiful ages, and they're going to enjoy doing the arts and crafts and seeing their little things happening on the Christmas tree. Oh, you're going to enjoy that. You'll enjoy that, Monica. Please go ahead.
Yes. So being a beginner myself, I think I can share just what I learned along the way. And one of the things that is very crucial, and the first step before you even think about decorating, and especially when we are talking about a Christmas tree, we talked about scale and proportion. Identify a place in your house where you are going to be putting that tree. This way you get to understand, you have in mind the kind of tree you need, and especially the size. If you have a big space, then you can get a bigger tree. But if you have a small space, you don't want the tree filling up the room. So decide where you're going to be putting the tree. The second thing is also decide how you want your tree to look like. When I started, I just went shopping, and some of the accessories that I got were multicolored. But eventually, along the way, I decided, fine, I want to have a red and a gold kind of accessories. At this point, I narrowed down. So before you even go shopping, decide in advance how you want your tree to look like. You can take out inspirations online. You can come to the group. You'll be able to see what members have done. It's amazing.
Okay.
You can, yes, once you know where you're putting the tree, so you've decided the size, you've decided how you want it to look like. Then third thing is just go out and shop. Shop for the tree, shop for your accessories.
Yes.
Once you have everything together, the fourth step is to set up your tree. I realized that the trees come in pieces, and especially when they're big. So you want to assemble the tree. Once you've assembled it, one of the things that worked for me and made a difference between my tree and the trees I saw was separating the leaves. You not separate the branches, distribute them, just balance it out so that your tree looks full. Yeah. Once you have set up the tree, the next step is to set up the lights. There's nothing that speaks Christmas like the dancing lights, the lights in your Christmas tree. So set that up. Yeah. You can start from the lower side as you go up. Yes. Work the lights inside and outside the tree because you want to achieve some depth in the lighting in your tree. Once the tree is up, you can do a ribbon. If you're doing a ribbon, if you're doing a garland, I advise that to be the next step. So you can start from up and you bring it down.
Like what I can see behind you.
Yes, this here is a ribbon. You will find some of them are wired, so it makes it easier to shape it. But even if you don't get a wired ribbon, you can just work with what you have. So you do your ribbons if you're using them. After that, now you can start doing the ornaments. This is the fun part because you're bringing different elements. Like Lucy said, she's using items her children made. If you're buying them, you would have bought them. If you're using different colors, I advise you to work with one color at a time. We talked about balance. We talked about harmony. So when you put one color, you distribute it equally around the tree. When you're coming to do the second color, you're filling in the spaces that the other color left. And then if you still have the third color, at the end of it, if you're doing red, you have reds all over the place. You have golds if you're using those colors.
Yeah.
Another word of advice is you can use, if you're using different sizes of balls, I would advise you to use bigger balls on the lower side, and then they can become smaller as you go up, again because of scale and proportion that we talked about earlier. Once you've done your ornaments, you can finish the tree by doing a topper. It can be a star, it can be a bell, it can be a teddy bear, whatever you want to crown your tree with. So you can go ahead and do that. Again, it will just be a process. So you keep stepping back, looking at it. Do you feel like it is balanced? If you want to adjust a few things here and there, you just keep working on it. I still adjust mine. I did it in the beginning of the month. Once in a while, I come out and I find that the children touched here and there, so I keep adjusting it. Have fun with it. Enjoy your Christmas tree. You can have other Christmas decorations. You can do centerpieces in your dining table. You can do tie backs for your curtains. You can do garlands on your window opens if you have them. You can do a wreath on your door. So just have fun with whatever you can do with your Christmas decoration. Yes.
Wow, and the smile on your face just tells me that this experience is so fulfilling. It is so fulfilling, and I wish you all the best, Monica, when you create it into a memory, a tradition with your children. Because take it from me, I loved it so much that for me to decorate a Christmas tree today will not be the same. it will not be the same. I need them, the one who wants to reach up, lift them, put them up, they come with their own things. They want to be able to add their own color. I mean, there was once my son came up with a whole garland that was made from macaroni, and he had string all this macaroni which was different colored, and he wanted it to be that garland that is behind you. He wanted me to put it right at the top and then let it come down. And I remember we went round and round and round the tree, and for him that was the best thing. The man is 26 years old today, and I remember it like it was yesterday. He cannot wait to start his own family so that he can pass on this tradition. So you are on the right track. I like what Nduku has said here. Monica, what a blessing you are right now. Breaking up the decorating features for us has helped simplify the steps I will take. Well, look at that. We have already inspired one person in our Facebook Live. Well, Monica, thank you so much for your time. We have reached the hour, and now we would like to know your 3 takeaways. And this hour usually goes so fast. So if you could share with us your 3 takeaways.
What I would say is the quality of your interior, it determines the quality of your life. The second one would be that you can become your own interior designer. Yes. And you can start right where you are today.
Yes. Yes, and I can start right where I am today. Before we just sign off, Anne, thank you for joining us. Greetings. Thanks, Monica and Lucy. A tip I learned was to start a collection of Christmas ornaments for my children over the years so they can have them, some to take with them when they leave home to go to uni or start their own homes. Wow. As well as have their own input in decorating the Christmas tree. Well, thank you so much, Anne, because that tells me I've got all these ornaments in this big box in my living room that my children have created over the years. And I wondered what to do with them. So there, I mean, I can give them as they leave home to go with the little arts and crafts that they had created. Thank you, Anne, for sharing that. Thank you so much. Monica, asante sana. Asante.
Just to mention,
yes.
Just to mention, I did a demonstration of all the steps that I have described today, step by step, together with the family. So again, I think it is a better guide when you're able to see what I am explaining over what I am talking about. So if you're interested in actually seeing the demonstration of the steps, you can be able to view that.
I am going to speak on behalf of everybody. We are interested. So is it possible to share a video with me? I'm being forward here. Is it possible to share a video with me and then I can upload it on LMC Consultancy?
I think that would be fine, but it's actually on the group, but yeah, we can share that. I will do that.
Great. So we can come and put it here, and we can always say, join Indulgence Blueprint for more information, especially the decluttering, which is important. We can declutter now and create space for our Christmas tree. Thank you so much, Monica. It is on the hour past by 1 minute, and we like to be on time. Our great appreciation. Ladies, you have those takeaways. Thank you for engaging. The conversation continues after this. Next week, we will have an inspiration on gifts. What can we do when it comes to gifting? We will have that conversation. But remember, ladies, we are looking at Gratitude December. What are you grateful for? No matter how little you think it is, it will inspire somebody. Share your gratitude story on our Facebook page. We have the amazing learning from the 4th to the 8th of January, which is the Awakening Self. The information is on the Facebook. Your early bird expires next week, Monday, Tuesday. So please take the opportunity. Thank you so much. I can see that we have been joined by Nelly and Lizzie. Thank you so much, guys. The conversation continues after this. Remember, we are helping to build one another. And until next week, be kind to yourselves. Bye-bye now.
Bye.